bechuti Talagan mi bechuti Talameti belointi Salama de long, salama de gua Masalana marong Changan baku Talaram bechui Weda bagwa Talaram bedu Changan ramate Reda kamol Be wanira Beloy de betet Baga donato Bawe jal kel Kumada mi wewe Talaram bechuti Talagan mi bechuti Talameti belointi Kumada mi wewe Talaram bechuti Talagan mi bechuti Talameti belointi Kumada mi wewe Talaram bechuti Talagan mi bechuti Talameti belointi Mana tin bum tin chet kaha Tin chalo jen boy kadar Nakin Nuer pui No can take the cane and you Chara bika wow Way balad Dul wal dul gora Bachuta Mana tin bum Bika way gang Tala ramba kwal Tala chingma ba kaping Tala rime ba was pink a raida Mana tin boom Bika way gang Kami de way Bika drunkel Ba way gwi Kami de na Kumada mi wewe Tala ramba chuiti Tala gan mi bechuiti Tala meti belointi Kumada mi wewe Tala ramba chuiti Tala gan mi bechuiti Tala meti belointi Kumada mi wewe Tala ramba chuiti Tala gan mi bechuiti Tala meti belointi Was a benidi Kakak bakapur Betin and yam Oh barret Batia bapis Kumada bakang no Engineer con Doctor con Teacher con We gwandan Bana let kill Telerami ba banjo Telerami bi dojo Bana tinyam kondial Bana tinyam weda Kondial Bana chulet kill Kumada mi wewe Teleram bechuiti Telegan mi bechuiti Telameti belointi Kumada mi wewe Teleram bechuiti Telegan mi bechuiti Telameti belointi Kumada mi wewe Teleram bechuiti Telegan mi bechuiti Telameti belointi Buranya kun nyalan chengo Teleram bi ba make chonde Teleram bi ba make chonde Teleram bi nyurba Buranya kun nyalan chengo Ebi jagja kapal rejeme chabi pare ichari yama Bana chunyura kel Bloy dan chu teskel Ke ore yame Bega kunyal Teleram bi nyurbang Teleram bi chuy Tidial biga chutetin Kumada mi wewe Teleram bi chuyti Telegan mi bi chuyti Telameti belointi Kumada mi wewe Teleram bi chuyti Talagan mi bechuiti Talameti belointi Kumada mi wewe Talaram bechuiti Talagan mi bechuiti Talameti belointi Bia Kamal Gwas America Nuer Online TV channel and Manduni Shankos Nyamlia no Ruashni Bana Lere Bana Kilinkiri Pontin Kontil Rodian Kaliang Tilat Korodiere Wichak South Sudan Tikon gating wana bukon kaling kajen report to go liang to very important tikon ki important message to ban nywa kel ashere mangai kono no we South Sudan kajen gwasa metere kore kenyam bana right check atin content lat karodian kore kon ke report to wan de kon kaling to lorodian kaliang broad issue kabeka bana katin kon dong de rande liang gwasa mene Joan yaman bagur ba nywa ya kele report kana me bana rach ka kwikir me yadi teno take ram kel mi cha George rami mamela MP she kir me yadi che MP cha George re kwerade bana kulu we katin ko ken shet ke roi ne kori ken tin diala ko ken ko lat ko rodian but kenyam a chana focus ke lat ko rodian tinin tama take it by the talk chen man dana ngai ko na la talk and South Sudan tere kor chen mai ona kir mi yadi che goro te mal me deben re wich ka South Sudan
Gori jalong no der ne dialo content kwa dakma char kwa je support der ke dismantle ki der ke George. Da ban je link jari po de me bro ikabaka. Ka jo machalat gwase mo wakir your position MPs che George. Wa che surprise move che jalat no ke Jordan chalat ke je. South Sudan President Salva Kiir Mayardit Ramadan la leading ka ruling SPLM Ramadan and la queer chala no take ne ti dismiss ka che ne ko kien che ka point che ne cho well bakel the la members ka transitional government la transitional national legislative assembly wa che ka kwan ka che ka ger ke che ka wo ka republican decree ka jo chalat gwaseme kanire konen che watch de mangai kone to opposition SPLM ayu ticketin ne de content under the transitional power sharing arrangement eda ne shala che kan dial che ka jo che mangai kone. But right now here, kajo machalat gwaseme dio jeje kona ngach no kir shene meche jede lat ko ramimo en me dane sha tan tinaga power sharing ndo dande na der galo jo keje so gaye winen tan wan why we kir mi adi we na jo keje mon ado be dien jo kir na ga jamo all this question katin to go roba baga kwen ko biya ka linka ta danan shiga ben keje back on Queen Kenam course be ling katok English bakula nyoko Queen je nyok katok nat do dan de understand ke je ki de yen linga je no so ban je link kel she Kiir Mayardit gwaseme man chalat alajan South Sudan President Salva Kiir Mayardit who also lead the ruling SPLM has dismissed and appointed 11 members of the Transitional National Legislative Assembly or dismiss and appointed 11 members of the Transitional National Legislative Assembly in Republican decree affecting a position allocated to the opposition SPLMIU under the Transitional Power Sharing Arrangement. The revocation and appointment were made on January 7 under Article 106A 2A of the Transitional Constitution and Section 38(1) of the Interpretation of Law and General Provision Act of 2006. The country bicameral legislature has 650 members, including 550 in the lower house, the Transitional National Legislative Assembly, and 100 in the upper house, the Council of State. Under the term of the 2018 Rift Valley Peace Agreement, the national legislature include representatives from the ruling SPLM party, opposition group including SPLM-IO, SAWA, other parties, and former detainees. In decree seen by the Radio Tamazuch and other media, President Salva Kiir Mayardit removed Joseph Malual Dong and Kwong Dakwi and Sandra Bona Malual and Wie Kun Kuyang and Stephen Boley and Asen Zaid Kininga. Well, other removed include Zainab, Zanebi or whatever, Kemis Lorumu, Gatkot Wadjor, Pech Nyawele Bur, Zandia, Julie Madit, and Jambil Mani Jambil. All of the dismissed members of the parliament are members of the SPLM-IO faction, loyal to the 10, first by President Dr. Machar, who is facing treason charge in a special court in Juba, which is also a kangaroo court according to the information. Malwal is the SPLM-IO focal person in Juba and a member of the party political bureau. In another decree, Salva Kiir Mayardit appointed new members to the assembly representing the SPLM-IO interim leadership led by peace-building minister Stephen Parkwall. That faction broke away from the SPLM-IO in April 2025. Following the detention of party leader Dr. Machar. The appointed 11 members include Elizabeth Kanyang Andrew, another person Nuer Bomtai Galwak, Zakaria Ater Joseph, and Santino Riek Maker. Others include Makwai Ten Yok and Charles Wiyual Yo, among other members of parliament. President Salva Kiir Cam recognized the interim SPLMIO faction are the legitimate representative of the party within the government, arguing that the move is necessary to advance implementation of the 2018 peace agreement and prepare for election scheduled for December 2026. Analysts say the charge in the assembly appear aimed at removing Dr. Riek Machar loyalists from the legislative body, a move they say could deepen internal division between the camp of Salva Kiir Mayardit and that of first Vice President Dr. Riek Machar. Edmund Yakani, a civil society leader and political observer, also talked to Radio Tamazuch, and he said that replacing Dr. Machar loyalists in parliament with loyalists of peace minister Stephen Parkour poses a troubling political trend ahead of South Sudan election. According to Yakani, the development raised the risk of return to full-scale war. Evidently, the absolute split among members of the SPLMIO into loyalists of Dr. Machar and Stephen Parkour, coupled with the renewed military clash in some areas between SSPDF and SPLIO, is dangerous, he said. Yakane said the situation is most likely to spiral out of control in the coming period without urgent intervention from the Intergovernmental Authority on Development, IGAD, and the African Union to rescue the 2018 peace agreement. In a separate statement dated January 12, the SPLMIO Political Bureau, loyal to Dr. Machar and Juba, say the unilateral removal of its cabinet minister last week and 11 of its members from the Transitional National Legislative Assembly violated the 2018 peace agreement. The group said it believed the removal are part of a broader effort by President Salva Kiir Mayardit to purge the opposition SPLMIO from the power structures. The statement was signed by Joseph Malualdong, the SPLMIO chairperson for foreign affairs and the local person for its political bureau. Last month, the presidency and cabinet approved amendment to key provision of the 2018 peace agreement, delinking the December 2026 general election from the permanent constitution, making process a national census and other institutional reform. The amendment also included the removal of provision stating that the 2018 peace agreement takes precedence over the constitution. The 2018 peace deal signed by President Kiir Mayardit and first by President Dr. Machar and other political leaders has faced repeated delay, including missed election timeline. Election have been postponed several times, or we can say several times it has been postponed and are now scheduled for December 2026, despite objection from Dr. Machar loyalists who say president-led consultation excluded them. So as we all know that this issue of national election, which they said it will take place this year in this December 2026, most people are saying that this will not happen. The reason was without first Vice President Dr. Machar participation in this peace process, the election will not happen. But it will only bring tension between the SSPDF and SPLIO. Though President Salva Kiir Mayardit is trying so hard that he could sideline Dr. Machar, it will not happen. The worst part is this: the African Union and IGAD and international community are still not speaking out, and they are seeing that the country is going back to civil war. Unless if they do something about that, South Sudan in the coming near future, according to analysis, will fall into a deep trouble where it will be very hard to be to maybe for peace to prevail within the country, because now many people are saying that if Kiir is not being provoked us is already doing what he like without the consent of the other political members of political party. Many people are saying that South Sudan is not in the right direction, and this will lead South Sudan to fall into trap again. Jowling koname jowan chalat mede konling ata danan dong to queen kware ke je kana ta danan chi self ke mayadi jere dial che goro be control including national election to dialati let kir mayadi de ko che goro take ramimo maybe big compete ke je chermangai kon dialano kir Shereng Machar Chajayan, Kacha Goro de Dr. Machar, they participate cutting Konalat Karodian. That's why you guys are seeing all these things, all this mess that are happening right now. So me de konwed make kir Misha Dr. Machar Chajaba allow no then be coin key be campaign right now. Ngaina jeno South Sudan is in trouble. So Chirmadara ngai kone without Dr. Machar, things can be gwa, she could drop down ngai kone je, And around Gorjano, they Kir Miyadi there talk there, but Kir is not willing to do that. Jen me take a Kir and Tama Jin Shu Wichu and Angreka, but right now I'm right con Tamachana Chagono Wojaka. Canadian Woja right now, Mikon Conca, Canadian con tin la yes Philaio Corodian. Yes Philaio Canadian con removed, Canadian con Waker. Miguiana, there are cool Canada, Shukumas Philaio, she can go no big Carodian gang. So Kumes Philaio Kajan Time me Germanian and right now they are ready more than ever. Ko be Korean gang we can me Jaga Chala the Kir Miyadi de Micha Goro de la Lede a Gor can be kind of watch a keep kind of caption. So na me a miller road. A Meridian Guazaman chi self Kim Yadi de Nyok Miller de she made on the Ngayana. Temji Kim Yadi de Lat Guasaman. South Sudan President Salva Kiir Mayardit on Monday ordered the formation of high-level technical committee to operationalize the South Sudan official gazette and enhance the official website of the Office of the President. According to an order announced on the state-owned South Sudan Broadcast Corporation, the move aimed to establish a secure, transparent, and sustainable national system for publishing official state documents through the operationalization of the Gazette and the upgrade of the presidential website. Under the presidential directive, the committee will be chaired by the Secretary General of the Government of the Minister of Justice and Constitutional Affairs, serving as a deputy chairperson. Other members include senior officials from the Ministry of Information, Communication Technology, and Postal Service, the National Communication Authority, and the Office of the President. The committee core mandate is to operationalize both the physical and electronic version of the official gazette, including establishing a secure end-to-end workflow that integrates encrypted digital verification to prevent manipulation or forgery of government documents. The system will be used to publish the Constitution and its amendment, Act of Parliament, Presidential Decree, provisional order, ministerial regulation, government notice, and other legal instruments. As part of the initiative, the committee will redesign and enhance the official presidential website to serve as the primary source of the electronic gazette or e-gazette, providing the public with secure, read-only access to official state documents. The directive also instructs the committee to address a long-standing publication backlog by identifying, categorizing, and preparing for gazetting all critical laws, Republican decrees, and resolutions enacted since 2011 that require immediate publication to ensure legal certainty. The committee has been granted authority to co-opt technical expert, legal draft person, and security consultant as necessary. All government institutions have been directed to fully cooperate and provide original document upon request. President Salva Kiir Mayardit has given the committee 14 days to complete its technical assessment, working flow design, and resource allocation plan. Upon completion, the committee is required to submit a final operational report along with the maiden edition, Volume 1 of the South Sudan Official Gazette. Following the submission, the President will formally launch the physical Gazette, the e-Gazette portal, and the enhanced presidential website, marking the commencement of South Sudan new official national notification protocol. The move follow protocol introduced last week by the Office of the President, limiting on-air announcement on government broadcasts SSBC to the appointment of removal of governors, national minister, deputy minister, and vice president. Under the new directive, all documents bearing the president's signature are classified as privileged executive communication and cannot be photographed, scanned, or shared online. President shall decree infecting change must now be delivered confidentially to the relevant authority such as parliament, speaker, minister, or governor for internal execution, where the office of the president barred from serving document directly to appointees. Kajolin kon magwasme kirma yadi jen take committee ya kwany ala jen lep website bakule let kay kwi office kade men message me very important me chang ka joga chang chana me chala da kire ci konen selba kirma yadi gwase chang chala do ne a jen shebile ben ka live ka SSBC be decree ba bilati lo bana ba ka boj jen chana che ka boj chirime dana ci konling chana che logo no bagala boje lo ben ka SSBC but men chalele ta right now ka jen this new development fight to the kirma yadi che committee che ka kwany kan committee to bikan website de me bukula let me dong te rambo je ba je kula publish tin che ka kwany kaneda to kaneda content bikan tin diala balat ka jen website mo all the information yung constitution everything den kon lat corodian wa ba kala tin gwasme all the original document ba kala jen website mo ne ba je potak ko charge bi yar ke charge bi ger ana ko ngai kon online take akar ngwan lang wala kan mala wuch so akiri ba all the document ba kala tin kano mete garamo woike ba je las ke jen website mo kan charge bi copy telam ba copy ka all the information kan any dorm charge publish ba nga je gwada monen go chara me charge wo right now and right me be ka kor ka jen ta me che announcement che jalat ko ci kon dial me dan che laten kir no jen cha vice president cha boy SSBC cha eneramimo la kuer mo woy ke charge bu wo ba ja lo lat ke television ngu cha jo ke cha kamrar jena na mo jen do badanan kwa website kwa lep ko je ko en me lat ke lo ba de ko lo yala ke jen website mo so website mo che chole e gazette I don't know what it mean but tikala do jen website dan ba de yal ba ka published in constitution kana all the amendment act of parliament en me lat ke parliament ba je la dan gwa mo che jo mo che la dan kir me yadit jen ta dana she larga jeno she technical committee che ka kwany te ba South Sudan official gazette ba je lepke South Sudan website me ba de ba gala gatin karwa indi al kon lat ko ne we ka South Sudan especially nyin ka en queer point kirmi yadit so che odor mo che jetup no me ba la let che ne to che mo ke ninde to long che mo ke 14 days karu nin dangwal ngwan te ba website mo ba je lat of course te ga long lat website ka ko they can hire anybody me the website they jalat but men ngai kelun ko right now melat ke website go to maintain and one but of course there are experts to be a lot shade janya longa kan yin ken kan kala wal ko ni country la take website te bangwan ba latin te ba ngok ba we jekaten but documentation ngoda beja kan ite wan michi kana to kono mbache jek ko enme me dan ti kono ngaje no let's say me chala no to ba shinna sikan bile la be ka online ka SSBC ba ne to woga ba blat ana shwagu jeno dong te ga mi kin yadit balat ke pin jerman chanen barata me chewe ko ba we ala ka nga ka website de mananan chikana yal ka gwasme so jenta dan len ngaro din ga right now ka kirma yadit so de yina me de yina lenga nono gwasame ngai kono lat Carodian enemy lero de morawika South Sudan chimana to ngai kon manana to gwatman another report mishalat doro shalga me to read re wika South Sudan shika take middo dien michikana left so en michikana lebo benwa yikel gwatame cause gori bialing to read commissioner take me to propose warga mi kana goren to read a query the janana a jane ba nang na ba je tok re wedian Torit Commissioner proposed firing a squad to curb killing in Iyala. Torit Commissioner Janaba Nagnan and Kona Nagana Bago to Lomicha kept Kichiran by Dilnak. So again, Bukon Linguasme, Naikon and many Bejamat, Lienge. But Chana Jamin Gujba. Bay Chukwenye Kobialing. Torit County Commissioner Christopher Andrew has proposed using a fire squad as a distrusting measure to address ongoing killing and insecurity in Iyala Payam, Eastern Equatorial State. The proposal came during a committee gathering for the Otuo people in Torit town on Saturday. Andrew expressed frustration over villagers harboring criminals. Kenny like it, Jenny, can you like can sure like an carto, Jen Commissioner. Right now, Massey the Guazame, Link Conaman, a Jenny sure like a talk, a Jedao, so mutual Chanata connect Barbato, which a general Kujamo, like a mean like an carto. I don't again code the proposal no bana back and me Ramichim Jachel at Kachadoka by the Nyamnat. Well, late last month, Governor Los Lobong ordered a ceasefire in Iyala Payam, but the order has been repeatedly violated. Residents said unidentified gunmen shot and injured a man in the village of Aforere, while another resident disappeared under mysterious circumstance on the same day. Andrew praised local intellectual documenting atrocities and promoting accountability. There is much work to be done, he said, or in Iyala. He said, while many blame the government for the violence, it is a collective responsibility to ensure the safety of our people. He added that a public execution could serve as a different, but say Human Rights Convention prevents such action. Anyone committing heinous act will be apprehended and brought to justice. He said even if families of perpetrators seek forgiveness, the government would still impose an 8-year prison term. Human rights groups have repeatedly condemned harsh punishment, including execution, citing risk of wrongful conviction and violation of international law. Addressing Utuo intellectual living in Juba and abroad, the commissioner urged them to support peace effort. This conflict is fueled by individuals detached from the realities faced by those in Iyala. He said, if you are a leader but fail to support your community, you are a pretender. Margaret Edouard Okoye, Eastern Equatorial Minister of Culture, Youth and Sport, called on communities to reject support for criminal activities and cooperate with authorities. Speaking in her native Utuo language, she said, continued support for criminal only perpetuates violence and hinder development. Every time there is a killing, the people of Iyala mourn, yet no arrests follow. She added that when someone is apprehended, there are constant demand for their release. This cycle contributes to suffering and violence. You must hold yourself accountable rather than blaming the government. She urged residents to report crime. Imagine the tragedy of killing women and children. What can you possibly gain from this? Too often, a gun is treated as though it fires independently while the perpetrator remains concealed, she said. Torit Mayor and SPLM County Chairperson Oyito Baptiste Sophoronio pledged to launch operation to tackle crime in Iyala Payam. He said justice mechanism will be established to address raid, revenge killing, looting, and ambush. There will be a significant movement in Iyala Payam. He said we are committed to extinguish the flame so that both the commissioner and to extinguish the flame of violence. We need your cooperation to restore peace so that both the commissioner and I can effectively perform our duties, she said that. Iyala Payam has long been affected by inter-communal violence, including revenge killing, raid, and army attack. Despite repeated government ceasefire order, insecurity persists, with local authorities struggling to enforce law and order. Residents and local officials say the violence is fueled by dispute over land, cattle, and local leadership, and it has hindered social and economic development in the area. Commissioner with the Wajamani Jen can be can mention firing is quite become a lot. Firing is quad alo mi che which tiang ka criminal ke ne lat ke tijek and what they do ba mi charge cap charge be pelika jenethen me ai cap ba jinak jen dara la kana all the time weber mi cha cap ngwa ba je punish ana ka dwar dana chalat ana but tong mi kana dorian na changchiran charanak no la wela ne je community no alo ngeje I think it relate to us though. Kone chal nuere changa criminal me chimi jekela la talk and then la ja pal gu ba protect ni je shemane ki bala ro jen alwin keje atel melate keje you know and all that kaje no cherik chejela then after that what will follow revenge but talk be meant la chal ke no shol ki shoot no bram mo baraden ba yir ba lo but e ko shram mi jek chejelat kaje no kana konmat ajala larga no ne we should consider that me chiriek to whoever chiriek committed go you know ba janyo the community ka ba ja kef me adwer but ngai ko na ti ga dwer ti lat ke accidental ke dwer lat ke knowing ngai jen wo le dwer mo okay kan dwer la ka identified but right now do mo mishali yala mo ke ikochora bana ngaje no de kume spele ayo jaten kume SSPDF jaten so can it right in time right now to kwal ninkela pai kwen yemen ne de ti KG SSPDF take kene kirm yadit and these are the people that do take ne de tawka so ne la kan nyinka ka then from there bukana o chaka no ne ti ka jedwar you know jenta da de tin no lo chak ki lene jen ka ko shel goro de ne ro de ka malba so they are using this tactic so ne ti mi raro gam kana la bukan community jo no jene nguna geru dun ka ro dun no ka these are the people that ko lar ka je bu na mo ka ngwak waran waje nyot baran bawnek so no money too much che chong so it relate ke siang da do content kon were mi konta da len ngaro din geje de kon gu jeno chat kan ke chat kan gatin kon lat ko din so men la very important thing was me wode kan ka dor jal theory dan commissioner jen de firing squad de lat so in case mi ranak de je dil nak jiran ci moy ko bot baye mo ko bot you know so dio jalalat ken wal dio je dor were kwarn were ko la generally kala la lat ke jem so maybe me solution kan de ko lat ke je okay there go but most of the time me la ko na gwi de ko na gwi no tanat riek mi chalat rammo ka chaje be consider ba je gor ke ba je ka ba palwe cherman chane no la ram ya support she mane me I support she more and then and when more tina bla dir changlel na le ten when more gor ke ji and be she mane ne to bikano gang ne jara momone no mo da kulte chiri kikan bede but mela ne dial kan let kel collectively la ram me mi chedwer chelat badil kabne dial mane ko la shi mane ba nyom me jega dana chelat dere gwa no mo dere la listen but not when gang ka ji chimi jeglat ba gang shi more elo gori jeno cha de chang ngani go dan titin cha de chang ngani man men jega dan chiladi mi jeg den ba gori jeno ba ji gang so no mo dere kulu gwa din so ram ji mi jeglat de jo no mi ngak chimi jeg chelat ban mi ram ter shon balaro ngungu le na shonda ko shon yaten mi ji de ni benda baye ben nak re adun ki doye ma din wona ni ro gang so cha ide bi cholo jin jin criminal cha de to so ko kujamo na me am le roda na me am talk gwaza me to kon ke another information me banyo ko mo nywa ga yekel adoro shwal ke me juba wat ci juba ko tene dang diok shakalon telangwane ki use ramshala wudeng te ga jom chalat for defamation ejenisha dio je charwaja jek so be kweni boko to ngali ka jowrani kan gorga je dan banyo kweni tungna I called in Juba has ordered the release of 3 youth leaders from Warab State and ended a long-running defamation case filed by former Minister of General Education Wood Deng Ashwil. The 3 men, Mashek Dong Green, Marcelo Deng Magon, and Ting Jok Ruben Dal, had been faced charged under the South Sudan Penal Code after being accused of damaging the former minister's reputation. A lower court in Juba had earlier refused to throw out the case in August 2025. Well, however, after these men challenged the decision in court, the High Court reviewed the case and said or delivered its final ruling on Thursday this year, 2025. Speaking after the ruling, the lawyer Ker Choldeng say the High Court found that the three men did nothing wrong and committed no crime. The judge explained that their statements were protected by the constitutional right to freedom of expression as guaranteed under South Sudan transitional constitution. The court added that expressing opinion or criticism does not amount to crime under the law. The case began in 2022 when former Minister Awudeng accused members of the Lienge youth community of defaming her after they publicly criticized the education authorities. The dispute traced back to 2021 when Lienge youth representative brought to President Salva Kiir Mayardit, claiming the minister had intentionally stopped primary aid pupils in part of Tony East County from sitting for their final exam, citing security reasons. In its decision, the High Court said there was no damage in this. There was no damage to the former minister's reputation or to the Minister of Education. The court noted that the criticism focused on her official action as a public office holder, not on her personal life. As a result, the High Court overturned the earlier ruling and ordered the immediate release of the three men unless they are being held for other reason. All 11 authorities have been informed. The ruling was delivered by Justice Peter Mazenchol according to reliable source. Right now, Jolin Kona make when dang doctor Chayi and Doro Chalgame Warab said, can when a jane. When a jane can she can query can a lot George, Chan Jamilingber, do up down and lot can a George again. I call into the Juba, a chic order chicken a tubano, can when dang dogoti a waker. When dang dogoti a white chicken queer Warab state, can book a you Arab state bunny. Can a watch can query can a lot jor, Michelle defamation, which is right a jerk a sure and on a killer ramo lad jor. Jan Washika former minister, Dungeral education, Shikichala Woodeng Ashil, why can lad jor can wendang jokreton. Ramkel Chalama Diak Dongrin, Ramradian Char Marcelo Deng Magon, Karamradian Michelle Ting Jok Rubendal. Kennedy Kennedy Shayen, Ken Chaga Chajane. Under South Sudan Penal Court, Guade Chaga Guanyano, Kenny can form minister reputation, you can a Yarke Chika Chang Yam Jaga Jack and honor. Lower court, the Riki Juba, she can look on and we can case more, we can Wojane Kajan Piper the Gadan. But right now, Command Chala, why she can find and chicken court, chicken a challenge can Gardang Diok. The decision done a chalat. She could work a high court it. So she high court chicken do can yokamu can review, tie it and shall look child like a me look like a kick a loom talk. So much I look at it, shall with a shall find a ruling charge at Kachenko one joke. So a quarter may she go right, she ram down a lawyer in which I'll curse all dang. Jelado and she high court chicken jigano can they dang doctority what they did not done anything wrong. Tell me Jim chicken a lot. Changa kill. Okay, tereng mujikana committed. You know. Chija chala do ne ramdan la look chala do ne. Can when it ganga ke constitutional right. Michal freedom of expression. Mila de charu kame jega la rama ko jenti office. By the way, rama to office. Mila de jor awa emas de la jor mijen. Misha mogwa chelet. Misha mandana take let's say the. She la down and take a office stage lunkalene. What is less? Midela donne. Aje no de lele de la jor e kene to de je criticize kamanda na chelet men chelwang ka je no je ne kwar so e kene la do de ci ay ko ci la do ne na aje ne de ti ber mu ci kana lat ka kuje mo sha ka goro ba kan dial ba ko lun ala keze me tok je ne ka jen ron kinera wid jandang ro widero no gwade former minister Awudeng me charge gwan ne ko na chala Lienge community an wojen take ne teacher palo chicken dul gore kan gur special guard teacher logo no de ka nyur ka nyur hono mala na nyur ka class ka je chuji chu community kan chu kre sai ke kan lat jor ke chicken ji education authority kan lat jor no chicken logo no bi Lienge community ke Lienge youth bi ka nyur an gwada mo chu ka jen 2021 mo chu Lienge community chu kan kir ma yadi kan gwar message no chu kala do ne kan minister shele la ngeje an wo chi primary 8 chicken bi nyur ka part of Tonyes County. Choka peno bika final example kana nyur eka kui security ka reason. But the one me she talk kan decision me decision she chajan and gwad mo dan chu kan kajamo you kan chular chukala don't know ba decision me ba jo lane ka court. So from there michigari kan check me kan decide then she me check ke you file gari che yen so me cha ruling cha lat kenyam then ga cha ku dior ka do me chajan me cha constitution cha jo gi jonta me cha ji no gari ka free no freedom of expression jatin anybody de manana jagalat karam mo de la cha jogon chega meno ne jin cha kwenaji personality ya kwenaji ka she personal ngade na meni chi kam yen ke so jin oti ko fisti kalat mitele jila dio je taram di jogo de chene kon diala kon lat ke ngwan me jiram mo tele ji kom taram de uju lat jor so la ji jor ko jen ti ka position and position do jen jag ko ba ji di lat jor ke jamon so cha ji no gade ke free ni so cha jo me cha lat ante mangan gade cha all the authorities concerned people tingu jo dong ci gade dori kan la cha ka inform no chwa ne ti chwa nyo mo ke bien ka unless te ko dori no den mi kan la jen bu ko lu ko do ne me jo me cha la de ken so me de kon dial te ka lwang de kamenan shore lat gwazeme chikon dial teken chen wo Dr. Rieng ma cha tenjen rami mo me cha look de cha je look cher ngai kone re wich ke juba ngai konte dial kone chalat gwasema bana manana chalat gwaz bana link kui Dr. Machar baje lat ke tok English and then ba nyogo mo lat ke tok nat yo ka kora here in South Sudan, the special court trial involving suspended first Vice President Dr. Machar and 7 co-accused will now be held in camera, excluding the public and the media to protect prosecution witness. The ruling follows an application filed by the prosecution on November 10, 2025, seeking protection for vulnerable witnesses who reportedly face intimidation and threat linked to the high-profile nature of the case. According to the report, when the 37th session opened on Monday, January 12, 2026, both the prosecution and defense confirmed their attendances. The defense also confirmed the presence of all the accused persons, with the exception of accused number 6, who was absent on illegal ground. It is in its application, the prosecution informed the court that the son of the one witness had been stabbed and another person assaulted at the Kakuma refugee camp in Kenya. It further revealed that a social media blog had published the name of the witnesses, exposing them to threat from unknown sources and creating an atmosphere of fear that undermined the court's work. To support its claim, the prosecution submitted electronic recording, including phone conversation in the Nuer language. The state section 181 of the Criminal Procedure Act and provision of the UN Convention of Transitional Organized Crime, which are incorporated into South Sudanese law, praying that hearing be conducted in private and that witness referred to by pseudonymy. The defense opposed the application, arguing that it lacked sufficient evidence and infringed on the right of the accused to a fair and open trial. Defense lawyer maintained that voice distortion and witness anonymity could deny the accused the opportunity to properly identify and respond to testimony. They further blamed the prosecution for failing to safeguard the witness list that eventually leaked onto social media. However, both sides reached an agreement regarding the appointment of court interpreters. In its ruling, the three-judge panel noted that while Article 19(3) of the Transitional Constitution and Section 181 of the Criminal Procedure Act guarantee the principle of open justice, the prosecution had presented reasonable ground to warrant special measures. The court subsequently admitted the publication for witness protection order that proceeding be held in camera and strictly directed that no name or identities of witnesses be published to safeguard them and their families. Following the ruling, presiding Judge Ms. Alala ordered members of the public and media personnel to vacate the courtroom immediately. The order was complied with. Judge Alela stated that witnesses will now testify only in the presence of the prosecution, the defense team, and the accused person. Dr. Machar, who has been under house arrest detention since March 2025, faced charges. The charges stem from March 2025 on the South Sudan People Defense Force garrison in Nasser County, Upper State. Prosecutor alleged that the attack carried out by the Nuer Army, an element of the SPLMIO, that killed 257 soldiers, including the garrison commander, Major General David Majur, and destroyed military property. Dr. Riek Machar denies all charges. But in retaliation, President Salva Kiir Mayardit used Uganda People Defense Force gunship by ordering the killing and by ordering the Nuer civilian in Nasser should be bombed. In that retaliation, Kiir has poured incendiary chemical on innocent civilian, both elders and women, children, and everyone in Nasser. During that incident, a mass number of people were killed, including children, by Kiir. But with this special court hearing, no one or yet nobody's even talking about the civilian that were targeted, innocent people that were killed by SSPDF in March 2025. The court did not indicate how long the closed door session would last. Public hearings are expected to resume once the protected witnesses have concluded their testimony. Gwazame mlinkoneme Madana Shalat Shiramangai Kone, and Dr. Machar, Rewish Kajuba, Shikan Narmanan ala Lukshan Yomutokaja. Man Shalke special court, Kashwale Kangaro court at the same time. Court Cherami look, Mishari Alaka organized a kid already. First by President Kanane Dangbaro to call a Jukwara, Chago Guanchiramangai Kone. Kajo Chalat Kajan Shankawaro Kapaikel. Chajo Guano Nene. Nathan Kondila witness ni chalaro kan ba ka gang shagabinyot ka ture. Gwazame menchituok redul kana mo kire lok. Shane dial chaga jogono yen bia jen. Jimmy dia mene dial content ten wenamo. Kine dial kondila nen. Nela nete kon she looks can attend. Chaga all of you should leave the courtroom. Nete budwat buka kene titi ke witness nete. Kan prosecution team kan defense lawyer team Canadian content chagwan ala Dr. Machar kan jukwara. So from there in ideal chigajian chinadot kajen luka jendang joku de baro din Ramadan and neta kondela witness ni chiga right no chigala de wona kanete kan ka guardian would kill watch right jena gade chaje yat ka dor shalke ka kuma kem ka kinya chaje yat neten kon tin kwa Dr. Machar kwa support ka jawda ni kala gwasame chigala do na me rekel anyok chigala do na cha shoot ken cha publish ka media and take a blog ma cha publish tin alo ngai ka shoot ken eren kon tin la witness ni tin lat kenen kashkadian ka Dr. Machar cha ko jogo no na kan konti la prosecution team kan de tite la ke witness ni tin ngum kan ka gang ka din ka gang ko cha fezen cha ga den right now ngai ke ne dial but cha ko la kan konti la jilo no en rami mo mo shoot ken wo lat kan ba jesu ke ba je ke ka jora ni kala je gwasme ko ci jen gudu me cha roje no cha ga den ke ram ke le cha je step ke cha je mu ka bot ke cha je yet ka kumro fji kem ke kinya so ci kan jo mo ci kan la no kan o ci kala no take media and shoot ken ci ka publish already online so ne me amle rode right now so ka jo dan ci kan lat gwasme ka ta dan len ngwaru den ke je kanite kan ke evident ni tinyo den wo ne tite cha ka gur ke so chigan la no take recon kan gatu ya kam kume ti akam jillo kono ba galing ano kan gur ke la to ken indian anyong ne ti kan gur kan ne ba tu ba je translate la to noare ba kula translate ke ko kan donc kan to English ke Arabic and then mo chagu kan ba ko mo ka translator ne to be right can be ka translate ba kula link code so ne me amela rode en kuro mo chire men ngai kona kure dan chitu ko pa diok sheral midiche non kam kuma SPLIO kana kuma SSPDF gwade dan SSPDF cikin yankan Nuer Wayami to da kuma char cha chu yen ka kwi gumshir no mo gwade dan shi ko ce toktin shi kan lad no shi de ni to ku dang ro jandang di baro shi ke liu ka ka kora chu kir mi yadit chu ne re konti la gat ka men ka dong ane ba de miten gwade mo chu kan Uganda chu kan use chu kan na gan ga bom ke chemical en je ga danan wang poinat chu men te makatin gan gat ko na bo na ka liya bane ka jen chemical mo ko chemical mo mi je ga long ma cha je wang ga je la point du la ja wang ka jen be ji yar so ne me mi le rode mi de kon dial te ka liang dakre ma char ka jo dan lat je ga je telele dur chirmana na ngai kona but kwiko kwalan delay men ko jen chebu we kaman chal ke national election jen to badana let kin mi yadi da na me da la jen mandana gorno de nyala yakel ke kwitin kon lat karodien dakre ma char be brar chirma ngai kon dial she kene she brar no
Bilonti, kumada mi wewe, tela ramu chuti, tela gan mi chuti, tela meti bilonti, kumada mi wewe, tela ramu chuti, tela gan mi chuti, tela meti bilonti. Salam de long, salam de gua, masala no morong, changa baku, tela ramu chuti, we de bagua, tela ramu do. Changa ramate reida kamol be wanira bloy de betet baga donato go we jal kel kumada mi wewe de la rambu chuti de la gan mi chuti de la meti bilonti kumada mi wewe de la rambu chuti de la gan mi chuti de la meti bilonti kumada mi wewe de la rambu chuti de la gan mi chuti la meti bilonti mana tin bum tin chet ka ha tin chalo dien goit gadar nakken Nuer e pui loken tek ken new charabika wow we balat dul wal dul gora ba chuta mana tin bum bika we gang tel rambe kwal tel chimba ba kapin tel rime ba was pink reida mana tin bum bigger way gang kami de way bigger drunken ba we be kami den kumada mi wewe tela rambu chuti tela gan mi chuti tela meti bilonti kumada mi wewe tela rambu chuti tela gan mi chuti tela meti bilonti kumada mi wewe tela rambu chuti tela gan mi chuti tela meti bilonti waza benidi kakak bakapur betin nyam o baret batia bapis kumada bakangno engineer kon doctor kon teacher kon we gwandan bana let kill tela rami ba banjo tela rami bi dojo bana tinyam kon yal bana tinyam weida kondial bana chule kill kumada mi wewe tela rambu chuti tela gan mi chuti tela meti bilonti kumada mi wewe tela rambu chuti tela gan mi chuti tela meti bilonti kumada mi wewe tela rambu chuti tela gan mi chuti tela meti bilonti Buranya kun nyalan chengo telerambi ba make chunde telerambi ba make chunde telerambi nyurba buranya kun nyalan chengo
tukon kanada report me bana linka jan report me bana madan le roda gwas me bana jelinkel ka jawo dana inshallah te ka report me sha to me benwa ka yeker right now ka report me we ka kodana chitok no dora shal ka modung shuk so right now report me inshallah ka sha non kon me bialinga gwa chala no SPLA IO sector 4 kana 5 ala SPLA sector 4 sector 5 infantry division meant pin acting commander of brigadier general Nyal Gatcha Will wajen chicken SSPD basement ray which kada jo payam ko lungshu county chicken kep chala no wale ke taro metiki chermda la tiang ala 2:45 p.m. local time. SPLIO 5 Infantry Division Brigadier 2 Commander 2 commanded by Brigadier General Kwang Dengang wa she can attack she can coordinated kabis SSPDF mentega dajo payam kolungshu county chalado nene she freedom fighter she can base SSPDF military barrack she can cap na me kwane dial kwagale jo gwasme very important report don bi aling bokaler dial ko kienten kona balat ano nene en walle cha jojo gwano nene SPLA IO chicken got to ikene kep ko lungshu batte ko dor me cha ko to mo kala goro nywa yekel order me men cha top me bi alinge order me cha kamne dial rami mo meten wana mo ka lungshu den ke report an cha no gwasme shala do nene SPLA IO kasai da mo menti civilian tekin kana NGO chaga jugno de yen evacuate immediately ka kwete kone chala no de na de kan evacuating wa Lungashu County town de kit center wa de na within the civilian kan NGOs de ka which Mayut County town kan center wa de na de ka which Pagak Payam town center kana pintor payam ton wa de NGO de ka which de true payam ton ba ke joko payam wa gwaziti kan dial gorga jeno immediately they can evacuate kan it kon la civilian when kan it kon tin humanitarian organization ten wanamo chajo mo chaje laden ona ko order de cha nyo mutup ka cha order cha nyo tumno Nasser County town eno when ka bure biai Ulang County town center Maban County town center Paloi town center when ka got the ala county la location jala de one immediately ne county la civilian away kan it county la humanitarian organization gorga jeno they can Rodian watch no anyok chaji SPLA IO tidial konen gwenken dial especially konen kwa order kwa letub take a letter michigan tub chikana kam SSPD you can SSPD no nene michi akor shaja gor you guys SSPD kaken all these places ajeno wa anavor any military requirement to the SPLA IO without more bloodshed wa tobe kwa kudial misharik ki chia kor shaja go misha goro beriem balon en mutaka ye mon tobeje cha warga me shaja gor kuma SPLA IO gor kana SSPDF Lampol Gabriel Shaodor mo chaje top sherman na ngai konen wo which te shunka Shaodor shaytu bano sha goro no betekaran SSPDF meten wanamo and all the area should be evacuated kajo wadan shala da ken kuma SPLA IO right kan alo kanedi shirodian realeka ki charen organize right now so na many amalat ken anu en ramo mila civilian katega kanedi an kon shala gwasme ne contin laji humanitarian ki luak cha jogono de run watch gwasadan entity ne SSPDF tegaten da gwano de yeno gwada nana do dien mandana don de gwakhiya so right now na me report Michigan lat so let's look at that this way okay akume SPLA IO nega gwasadan meche kor meje talk chan duna ser chan apple meje talk kalo nolan ki munwal gwasadan me sha gujeno sha Nuer community no chika tia ki chi we ko kuma kir mi yadi no ko ne ran ji rege social media lat ke jen o shi miche kwalo Nuer chi le we a chi le we ku kir mi yadi ka chi we Nuer chi jak but chi jelode alalo Nuer community la bit ke la ken mandana la kanam kona linkpin den yo michik doru tok burin woje wut ke dial burin wul ke dial changram ton budotin so jen ta dan le rode so wojen ka rodian jen shanen tama wecce te chunga kelu and then cha wat cha kef anono ka kan ci ga yuai gana kebo wona ka pajut wona ka wid koken wona ga gadyang ne shit ka odore dan ne kan to kan wi ci kana mu ne ga 2 hour pan ci 45 hour ci ko tok 25 dio kan ngod so wala today away runa we ga molga ban ling ne mu dien shit ka korki dong ba tike shilling to butu ok cherman ngai kono order mi atu ba kwar la real ka rodi ne ka kama nyam kana konto ba kana target ka election target civilian no we are not targeting civilian ga yorani kelat kana kon ku ne base kada ne kontin la dinye dini assess pdf gwada kon tikitin la base ni ken jen gwada tikitin ken du ne mishale military operation kata da lat keneja of course ne de wan tina asen civilian ba kula gangade ajena wodor shi akul lin shala da palma de ngano en ramten wena mo right now oro wo the same order chanya utubentama ka lungu shuk cha tup ka mai wut cha tup ka wi dialen kokien lungu shuk mai wut pagak payam turu payam joko payam cha tup ka Nasir County chanya utubo ka wulang cha tup ka maban cha tup ka palush all this location ka jana panal cha woning cha tup tinno evacuate civilian ka woje dini ka woje ne konda tela ji humanitarian na me Lampol Gabriel goromo ka information michelat ka social media ko bine dial bikana ngajano en warning machatop muku ja wolok kuja the fight and order me run bala jin karwado so taram bel so that is the reason why top can all the information ko de kaling so na many mila road right now ko de yana me de yana ngajino ngum mila road okay na me janda na dong de nyaka yakel ka jan report men go tedial weekend a batch unless shaka kon kapchong kir ya order ya kon tubono mala be mekan mal mekan ja kon accept ya ngaje no korip tungwan be kan wan long rewika South Sudan so na me da la jen da nan de nyaka yakel mi jira mi dir gwasa me ka Nuer Online TV channel gorjen ojin de subscribe ko de support ko mete mi break da chwa mala shuba kaji ko gwada dan en ce chup kaje so na bana je kamra dien ya tiga ma
kuma da mi wewe tala rambu chuti tala gan mi chuti tala meti bulonti kuma da mi wewe tala rambu chuti tala gan mi chuti tala meti bulonti kuma da mi wewe tala rambu chuti tala gan mi chuti tala meti bulonti salam de long salam de gwa masala no morong changa baku tele rambu chui we de bagwa tele rambu do changa ramte re de kamol be wanira bloy de bete baga donato bo we jal kel kuma da mi we tele rambu chui tele gan mi chui tele meti bulonti kuma da mi we tele rambu chui tele gan mi chui tele meti bulonti